Hey YouTube, it's Geoffrey here again in Singapore and again among the giant lighted trees, and you can actually see that they are lighted now. Now that it's nighttime, it's real pretty here. It's still pretty busy and still very warm, but it is very pretty. But after I recorded that last video, Seathought and I went and explored a bit and had some great philosophical discussions, and we got to discussing a little bit of Dostoevsky, who wrote a book called Notes from Underground. I have not gotten into it, but he has been working his way through it, and one of the questions that he discusses is, what does it mean to progress as a society or as a person? We talk a lot about progressives in our politics. What exactly are we progressing toward? I think there are a lot of people who have their own answers for that, and I'm sure progressive political parties have their own answers, but I think a lot of us should answer that for ourselves in terms of what are we progressing toward, and what are our communities progressing toward. Is it just the economic progression that builds stuff like this? I mean, you look at Singapore, 50 years ago, it was an unknown backwater, a tiny little city trying to figure out its own fate as it had just been kicked out of the only nation that it knew, and the British were pulling back from their colonial obligations at the time, and now half a century later it's an economic giant. It has a GDP per capita on the ranks of Luxembourg, Norway, and what built that? Part of it was definitely the authoritarian rule of Lee Kuan Yew and the Prime Minister for 3 decades, who opened this place up and had some heavy-handed solutions, but also allowed the globalizing free market to do its thing, and it worked by economic measures. But did it really work? Did it make people's lives better? In many ways, yes. In some ways, maybe not. And I think we see that very much in Western countries as well. We have all this money, we have all these things, but are we actually living better? And if we're not, like, what does better actually mean? How do we define better? If there are measures other than our income, other than our security, what are those measures? Can they actually be measured? I don't have any good answers for those questions right now, but that's something I want to explore, and something I will definitely be getting more into as I make my way to Europe. I've got about 4 hours to get out to the airport, and tomorrow morning I will be on the other side of the world, and I will speak to you guys from there. Take care.